The past, present, and future are often likened to a river, constantly flowing without end. However, each shift in time can be seen as a mark with cycles of energy or spirituality, and if we are able to feel them, the sacred connection is something we cannot ignore. Have you ever felt that something grand is about to happen? Is there a mystery surrounding the upcoming year 2025 that we have yet to fully grasp? This is the year when the number 9 in numerology leaves a strong and clear mark, closing an old cycle, opening a new era, and leading us toward wisdom and understanding. Additionally, in the Chinese horoscope, 2025 will be ruled by the wood snake. This symbolic creature reminds us of the importance of renewal, pursuing deeper realms within our inner selves, and growing stronger in both awareness and spirituality. On this journey, there will undoubtedly be challenges. Personal transformation and self-upgrading will require courage, wisdom, and unwavering faith. So, what will you need to prepare in order to reap the rewards as we approach the new year, 2025? How can you make the most of these foundations? Stay with us until the end of the video for the most helpful suggestions. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay updated with our latest videos on spiritual topics, inner awakening, and philosophical insights. The number 9 carries a very special energy, and in 2025, it will serve as a guide for all of us who feel God's call. In numerology, the number 9 is a symbol of wisdom, completion, and renewal. And this year, it invites us to reflect on the past, release what no longer serves us, and embrace new beginnings. It reminds us that as one cycle ends, another is ready to begin. This transition is not just a passing of time, but a spiritual opportunity for growth and transformation. It's as if God is telling us that the time has come to close the chapters that no longer contribute to our higher purpose and to prepare for the new chapter that awaits. For those of us who feel called by God, the energy of 9 signifies a clear invitation. It's time to reflect deeply, take action with generosity, and live as instruments of divine truth. This powerful energy encourages us to step away from past patterns that no longer align with God's greater plan for our lives. Whether it's unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, or limiting beliefs, we are called to let go of anything that prevents us from fully stepping into our divine calling. By doing so, we make room for the new blessings, opportunities, and wisdom that God has prepared for us. The number 9 also teaches us about the importance of wisdom, a wisdom that transcends knowledge alone. Wisdom in the truest sense is not just about accumulating information, but about applying that knowledge with compassion and love. It is like the elder who, after living a full life, shares the lessons learned along the way with others. True wisdom is found in our ability to look at others with empathy, to act with kindness, and to make choices that benefit the greater good. For us, the chosen ones, this means we are called to be a light in this world. We are not meant to just exist. We are meant to shine, to be a source of hope and healing for those around us. This doesn't always require grand gestures or monumental acts. Sometimes it's the small everyday actions that make the most difference. A smile offered in a moment of need, a comforting word to someone going through hardship, or a simple act of kindness that brightens someone's day. These small acts, though seemingly insignificant, have the power to change lives, to bring light into dark places, and to create ripples of love and compassion that extend far beyond our immediate circles. In 2025, the energy of the number 9 also invites us to live in truth. As we move through this year, many hidden truths will come to light, truths that may be uncomfortable but necessary for our growth. God will illuminate both the world around us and our inner selves, revealing what was once hidden. This could mean uncovering truths about ourselves, our relationships, or the world we live in. While this revelation may be difficult to process at times, it is important to remember that God does not reveal these truths to condemn us, but to set us free. He wants us to leave behind everything that separates us from our divine essence, everything that prevents us from fully embracing the purpose He has for us. Living in truth requires us to live with integrity. There is no longer room for masks, lies, or superficial living. God calls us to be authentic, to be true to ourselves and to others, because it is only in truth that we find freedom. When we align our lives with God's truth, we become instruments of His light and love. And that is what the world needs now. People who live with courage, faith, and compassion. We are called to stand firm in our truth, to embrace the wisdom that God provides, and to live in a way that reflects His love to those around us. As we move into 2025, let us take the lessons of the number 9 to heart. Let us embrace the opportunity for spiritual growth and renewal. Let us reflect on what we need to release, live with authenticity, and seek to be a source of wisdom and light in the world. This year is a chance for each of us to live more fully in alignment with God's plan and to act with generosity and compassion in all that we do. It is through living in truth, with wisdom and love, that we can fulfill the divine purpose that God has for our lives. Another important aspect of the number 9 is altruism. This will be a year to serve, to put love into practice. But serving does not just mean performing great deeds. True altruism lies in the small gestures, in the simple actions we take every day. An act of kindness, a word of encouragement, a positive thought directed at someone. All of this has a profound impact. God calls us to be beacons of compassion in a world that is thirsty for love and hope. Remember, it is not the size of the gesture that matters, but the intention behind it. A small act of kindness done with love and repeated consistently can change the course of a life. The number 9 teaches us that actions done with kindness become permanent. They take root, grow, and bear fruit. Therefore, do not give up on doing good, even if it seems that no one is watching or that nothing is changing. God sees, and He is working through you. Moreover, the number 9 challenges us to be persistent. It reminds us that walking with God requires dedication and consistency. It's not about doing something good once and then stopping. It's about living a life of kindness, faith, and love. It's about repeating the right actions, even when we don't see immediate results. Think about it. 3 right actions can change the course of a life. 3 words of encouragement can bring hope to someone who is about to give up. 3 sincere prayers can open doors that seem closed. God calls us to be consistent, not to give up, because He is working for us and through us. The number 9 also reminds us that to move forward, we need to close cycles. This means leaving behind what no longer serves us, what prevents us from growing spiritually. It could be a habit, a thought, an attitude, or even a relationship. God calls us to clear the soil of our hearts, to free ourselves from what weighs us down, so that we can plant new seeds and reap the fruits in the future. 2025 will be a year of profound transformation. This year will be a time for deep reflection on who we are, what we are doing, and how we can align ourselves more closely with God's divine purposes. It's a year to live with wisdom, compassion, and faith. God is calling us to be a light in a world that is in desperate need of it. In addition to the powerful energy of the number 9, 2025 is guided by the rule of the wood snake in Chinese astrology. The snake is a powerful and profound symbol, teaching us about wisdom, intuition, and transformation. For those of us chosen by God, the energy of the snake serves as a powerful reminder of how the Creator works in our lives. Just like the snake sheds its skin to grow, we are called to shed the things in our lives that no longer serve us, so that we can emerge renewed, ready to fulfill the divine work God has planned for us. The snake's ability to shed its old skin is not just a physical process, but a symbol of inner renewal, helping us understand that we too are being transformed from the inside out. As chosen ones, we are invited to reflect on what we need to leave behind, habits, beliefs, relationships, or past wounds, and embrace the new life God has prepared for us. The snake is also a symbol of reflection and careful planning. Unlike hasty actions or impulsive decisions, the snake moves with purpose and strategy. This energy invites us to reflect on our choices, seek wisdom, and plan our next steps with divine guidance. In 2025, we are called to reflect on our journey and assess whether our current paths align with the greater purpose God has for us. It is not enough to just move forward blindly. We are asked to be intentional and to take the time to consider how we can best serve God's will in our lives. We are reminded that we are responsible for discerning our paths in light of divine wisdom. This is a time to stop and listen to God's voice. We must seek His guidance, align our plans with His greater plan, and trust that He is directing our steps. The distractions of the world can easily sway us from our true path. But as chosen ones, we must remain focused and steadfast in our commitment to follow God's will. While reflection is essential, the snake's energy also serves as a warning. There is a danger in becoming too isolated in our thoughts, too removed from others. The snake, in its reflective state, can sometimes lead us to a place of solitude where we disconnect from the support and wisdom of others. But God created us to live in communion. We are not meant to walk this journey alone. Sharing our experiences, our struggles, and our insights with other chosen ones is vital to our growth. By connecting with one another, we strengthen each other and collaborate to fulfill God's greater purpose. Together, we can become a powerful force for good in the world. The transformation that the snake symbolizes is not just external, it is deeply internal. It is about allowing God to shape us from the inside, purging the old to make way for the new. This transformation requires us to look within ourselves and confront the things that hinder our spiritual growth. It may involve letting go of old habits that no longer serve us, changing thought patterns that limit us, or releasing past hurts and fears that keep us stuck. Just as the snake renews its skin, we are called to renew ourselves spiritually. This may be a difficult process, but it is a necessary one. Letting go of what no longer serves us is the only way to step into the fullness of the new life that God has for us. This spiritual renewal is not about erasing our past, but about acknowledging it, learning from it, and then moving forward with a renewed sense of purpose. It is about forgiveness, both forgiving others and forgiving ourselves, and releasing the negative emotions that keep us from fully experiencing God's love and grace. As we shed our old skins, we allow ourselves to be molded into the person God created us to be. In 2025, we are invited to embrace this transformation with courage and faith, trusting that God's plans for us are far greater than anything we could imagine. Just as the snake emerges from shedding its skin with new vitality, so too will we emerge in 2025, renewed and ready to fulfill the divine calling on our lives. This year is not just about personal growth. It is about aligning with the greater purposes God has for us and living with a renewed sense of mission. The transformation of the snake teaches us that change is not only possible, but necessary if we are to become the instruments of light and love that God intends for us to be. Let us move forward in 2025 with courage, wisdom, and a deep sense of trust in God's perfect plan. This renewal, however, requires courage. It is not easy to leave behind what is familiar, even if we know it is not good for us. But God gives us the strength to face this process. He reminds us that as we transform, we are drawing closer to Him and to the purpose He has for our lives. Transformation is an act of faith, an act of surrender, where we trust that God is in control and that He is guiding us to something greater. The snake also teaches us about the importance of intuition. In 2025, we will be called to listen more to God's voice in our hearts. Often, He speaks to us subtly through feelings, thoughts, or signs. We need to be attentive and sensitive to His direction so that we can make decisions aligned with His will. Intuition, when guided by God, is a powerful tool that helps us discern what is right and what is best for our lives. Finally, the energy of the snake reminds us that transformation is not an end in itself, but a means to fulfill God's work. By renewing ourselves and aligning with divine purpose, we are preparing to be instruments of His will. God calls us to be agents of change, to bring His light and His love to the world. Just as the snake is a symbol of wisdom, we are called to share this wisdom with others, to be examples of faith, compassion, and courage. Chosen ones, 2025 will be a year of great reflection and transformation. It will be a time to look inward, to seek God's wisdom, and to renew ourselves. But it will also be a time to connect with one another, to share our journeys, and to work together for the greater purpose that God has for us. May we embrace this energy with faith, courage, and the certainty that God is guiding us every step of the way. 2025 will be a year of endings and new beginnings. It is a time when God calls us to finalize old cycles, to leave behind what no longer belongs to our purpose, and to make room for the new that He wishes to plant in our lives. Think of it as a spiritual garden where new seeds can grow and bear fruit. It is necessary to clear the soil, remove the weeds, and prepare the ground. This process can be challenging, but it is essential for us to fully live the divine plan. Ending cycles means, first and foremost, freeing ourselves from habits, behaviors, and even thoughts that distance us from God. Often, we carry things that no longer serve us, but out of habit or fear, we insist on holding on to them. It could be a relationship that prevents us from growing, a negative thought pattern, or even an attitude that we know is not aligned with God's will. 2025 invites us to look at these areas of our lives with honesty and courage, and to make the decision to leave them behind. This process of spiritual cleansing requires us to make peace with the past. Forgiveness and gratitude will be fundamental tools on this path. Forgiving is not just about releasing the other person, but also about freeing ourselves from the weight we carry. When we forgive, we open space in our hearts for God to work. Similarly, gratitude helps us see the blessings we have received, even in difficult moments. By looking at the past with gratitude, we can recognize the lessons learned and God's hand in each situation, which gives us strength to move forward. Leaving the past behind does not mean ignoring it or pretending it didn't exist. On the contrary, it means learning from it, being thankful for the lessons, and moving forward with a lighter heart. God calls us to release what weighs us down because He has something new and greater prepared for us. But to receive the new, we need to be willing to let go of the old. 2025 will also be a year to plant new seeds. After clearing the soil, it is time to prepare the ground for the future. This is the ideal moment to start projects that have a positive impact, both in our lives and in the lives of those around us. God invites us to be catalysts for transformation in our communities, to be instruments of His will, and to spread His light and His love. Furthermore, the introspective energy of the wood snake can lead us to moments of indecision or procrastination. Introspection is important because it helps us reflect, seek wisdom, and plan our steps carefully. But if we are not careful, it can paralyze us. We can get lost in thoughts, doubts, and fears, postponing important decisions or failing to act when necessary. That's why, as chosen ones, we need to be attentive. We need to balance reflection with action, introspection with trust in God. Indecision can arise because many times we want to have all the answers before acting. We want to know exactly how things will happen. We want the guarantee that everything will work out. But the truth is that walking with God requires faith. We will not always have all the answers, but we can be sure that God is with us, guiding each step. He gives us the strength and wisdom we need at the right moment. Therefore, when you feel doubt or fear, remember to pray, seek God's direction, and trust that He is in control. Another challenge that may arise in 2025 is the temptation to give up in the face of difficulties. When we are in the midst of a transformation process, it is common to face obstacles. Things may not happen as quickly as we would like, or we may encounter resistance from both outside and from within ourselves. But it is precisely in these moments that we need to remember that God never abandons us. He is always by our side, strengthening us and encouraging us to continue. The challenges of 2025 also offer us a unique opportunity for growth. Every difficulty we face is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and closer to God. It is through challenges that we learn to trust Him more, to depend less on our own strength, and to recognize that everything we have and are comes from Him. Therefore, instead of fearing challenges, face them as opportunities for spiritual growth. Ask yourself, what does God want to teach me through this? How can I use this experience to become a better person and more aligned with His purpose? I want to emphasize and make it clear that the true spiritual meaning of the number 9 and the snake is deeply connected to transformation, wisdom, and divine purpose. In spiritual numerology, the number 9 symbolizes the closing of cycles and the preparation for new beginnings. It represents the wisdom acquired throughout a journey, as if it were the final stage of learning, where we are called to share what we've learned and to act with compassion and altruism. The number 9 reminds us that life is made up of cycles, and that in order to move forward, we need to leave behind what has already fulfilled its purpose. It is a number that invites us to look within, to reflect on our choices, and to align ourselves with God's greater plan. It teaches us that by closing a cycle, we are not losing, but rather preparing for something great, something that God has already planned for us. It is a call to spiritual maturity, generosity, and the courage to move forward. The snake spiritually is a symbol of renewal, intuition, and profound transformation. In the Bible, the snake is often seen as a symbol of cunning and wisdom, but also of renewal, as it sheds its skin to grow. This act of renewal reflects what God calls us to do in our spiritual lives, to leave behind what is old, what no longer serves us, and to emerge renewed, ready to fulfill the divine purpose. The snake also teaches us about the importance of introspection and connection with our intuition, which is the voice of God speaking in our hearts. It invites us to be strategic, to reflect before acting, and to seek divine wisdom in all our decisions. However, the snake also warns us about the danger of isolation and procrastination, reminding us that transformation only happens when we balance reflection with action. When combining both of these symbols, we see the overarching meaning that 2025 will be a year of profound spiritual transformation. They call us to close cycles with wisdom, renew ourselves with courage, and live with purpose, trusting that God is guiding us every step of the way. You, those who feel God's call, are part of this greater plan. No matter where you are or what challenges you are facing, know that God has a purpose for your life. He has chosen you to be a light, to spread love, and to fulfill a unique mission. So, what are your plans for 2025? What seeds do you want to plant for the field of your future? Let's share in the comments to spread more inspiration to us and others. Thank you for watching. If you learned something from this video, please like, subscribe to the Top Hidden Knowledge channel for more content on wisdom, spirituality, and personal growth. Or if you have time, check out other videos on this channel. Until next time.